Hey, what's up, guys? You're now listening to Devo with Uncle Theo. Today is day 172, and we're going to cover Job chapters 25 through 29. We are in the third round of arguments from his friend. And my question to you today is, are you TKO'd? KO'd? Are you knocked out? Are you tired of the arguments? Are you like, come on, Job, give me some more material? I'm tired of you arguing with a friend. Well, I tried to prepare you that it would be wearying because they're going back and forth. And it just shows us the weariness of life when we are in opposition with the world, with false counselors, with our own flesh, with even Satan, and second guessing our own selves, anxiety, depression, stress, and even demonic activity. You just see how wearying these things are. And I hope this book just opens your eyes to one of the attacks of the enemy is just to wear you down, to fatigue you to exhaustion, to get you to quit and do what Job's wife said, curse God and die. But this is the last round of arguments. We've covered Zophar and Eliphaz already, and Bildad's last statements are short. He says here in chapter 25, dominion and all belong to God. He establishes order in the heights of heaven. Can his forces be numbered? Or whom does his light not rise? How then can a mortal be righteous before God? How can one born of a woman be pure? If even the moon is not bright and the stars are not pure by his eyes, how much less a mortal who is built a maggot, a human being who is only a worm? So there's nothing new here to see. His friends are pretty much just saying the same thing over and over, just a different way. And obviously, you get Job's reply. So chapter 26 is his last reply, and then he's going to give a final word to all of his friends. So let's look at his final reply. He says, how you have helped the powerless, how you have saved the arm that is feeble. What advice you offer the one without wisdom, and what great insight you have displayed. Who has helped you utter these words, and whose spirit spoke from your mouth? I know you see the sarcasm dripping in these statements. Job is getting after Bildad. He's finished with the other two friends. Now Bildad is the only one left, and he's letting him have it now. And he goes back into poetic, figurative language in verse 5 and following. And you see it here. The dead are in deep anguish, those beneath the waters and all that live in them. The ram of the dead is naked before God. Destruction lies uncovered. He spreads out the northern skies over empty space. He suspends the earth over nothing. Verse 13, by his breath, the skies became fair. His hand pierced the gliding serpent. And these are but the outer fringe of his works. How faint the whisper we hear of him. Who then can understand the thunder of his power? And Job speaks again to the wondrous nature of God and the inability to understand him. And you'll see more of that in his final arguments, which we go into in chapter 27. It says, and Job continues his discourse. As surely as God lives, who has denied me justice, the Almighty who made my life bitter, as long as I have life within me, this is beautiful here, the breath of God in my nostrils, my lips will not say anything wicked, and my tongue will not utter lies. I will never admit you are in the right till I die. I will not deny my integrity. I will maintain my innocence and never let it go. My conscience will not reproach me as long as I live. May my enemies be like the wicked, my adversaries like the unjust. For what hope have the godless when they are cut off, when God takes away their life? I will teach you about the power of God. The ways of the Almighty I will not conceal. You have all seen yourselves why the meaningless talk. Here's the faith God allots the wicked. And basically, Job is calling his friends out. He's calling them his adversaries at this point, his enemies. And they are to be treated as though they were wicked. And Job ends out giving a beautiful treaty about wisdom and giving his final defense. This is how chapter 28 starts. It says, there is a mine for silver and a place where gold is refined. Iron is taken from the earth and copper is melted from ore. But where can wisdom be found? Where does understanding dwell? No mortal comprehends its worth. It cannot be found in the land of the living. The deep says it is not in me. The sea says it is not with me. It cannot be bought with the finest gold, nor can its price be weighed out in silver. The price of wisdom is beyond rubies. It cannot be bought with pure gold. Where then does wisdom come from? Where does understanding dwell? It is hidden from the eyes of every living thing, concealed even from the birds of the sky. Destruction and death say, only a rumor of it has reached our ears. God understands the way to it, and he alone knows where it dwells, for he views the end of the earth and sees everything under the heavens. And you can hear it in this poem, Job expressing the origin and the nature of wisdom. Where can wisdom be found? And he closes it out by telling us, when he established the force of the wind and measured out the waters, when he made a decree for the rain and a path for the thunderstorm, then he looked at wisdom and appraised it and confirmed it and tested it. And he said to the human race, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom, and to shun evil is understanding. Sounds like I'm quoting Proverbs, doesn't it? And that just attests to the cohesiveness of the word. And in fact, the author of Proverbs would have known about the book of Job during his time. And then we even see the same language in the Psalms. In chapter 29, Job speaks of his past glories, of the things that he was able to do before God allowed this attack on him. He says, how I long for the months gone by, for the days when God watched over me, when his lamp shone on my head, and by his light I walked through the darkness. Oh, for the days when I was in my prime, when God's intimate friendship blessed my house, and when the Almighty was still with me, and my children were around me. Whoever heard me spoke well of me, and those who saw me commended me, because I rescued the poor who cried for help, and the fatherless who had none to assist them. The one who was dying blessed me. I made the widow's heart sing. I put on righteousness as my clothing. Justice was my robe and my turban. I was eyes to the blind and feet to the lame. I was a father to the needy. I took up the case of the stranger. I broke the fangs of the wicked and snatched the victims from their teeth. He even said, people listened to me expectantly, waiting in silence for my counsel. After I had spoken, they spoke no more. My words fell gently on their ears. They waited for me as for showers and drank in my words as the spring rain. Job was an honored and a valued man, but he will not change his mind. He has a clear conscience that he is not sin. And I have good news for you. The plot is going to thicken. We don't just have 3 friends here. Another guy is going to appear on the scene tomorrow by the name of Elihu. And after Elihu speaks, we'll get a special guest that we haven't seen speak since the opening chapters. And he goes by the name of Yahweh. So it's about to get good. Job is done with the 3 friends. I hope you're not KO'd on the ground and you're out for the count. 1, 2, 3. Get up and let's get back to hearing what Elihu has to say. And I hope it encourages you to understand the nature of good counsel and poor counsel, understanding the nature of not cursing the Lord. If you have a clear conscience, standing on your integrity, not confessing guilt for the sake of keeping peace, but if you have no guilt, maintaining your innocence and showing us how to be tested of the Lord without cursing his name. You guys hang in there with me, and let's pick back up tomorrow and hear what Elihu has to say.